first question, yeah, I believe it's true that Wilfred can play tomorrow, which everyone is really happy about. So there was some clarification. I think that's all out now, so no surprises. And I think that we also understand clearly what it will mean for any player on the yellow card for the next game. So that's good to know. And secondly, yeah, no, the boys are, first of all, I think happy to be here competing on Sunday. There's no other motivation that we need. We all want to go to the World Cup, so it's going to be a difficult game. Congo also did well to get to the final here for Africa, and we're really looking forward to it. Yeah, I think every game brings a new challenge. I think also for Gabon, I didn't think they were just low block. They were very dangerous on the counter-attack, which the boys dealt really well with. But I think, yeah, with Congo, I know one or two players in their team. So, yeah, I know they are a good playing side. Yeah, so it's going to be a different challenge altogether. I don't think you can ever compare teams in Africa. And also we have to adapt. But at the same time, I think we are also starting to create a clear identity, and that's something that we want to continue to build on. And it will be an interesting game on Sunday for sure. No, always. I mean, if I could skip the press conference here, with all due respect, I'll be in my room. So no, everybody just wants to focus on the game. I think last game we sent a really clear message from the team, and we're hoping to do the same now. We're not trying to prove anything to anyone. We want to prove it to ourselves, and we want to be at the World Cup ourselves. So that's the real focus. Yeah, I think after that game, there still won't be time to really talk about achieving anything yet, because there'll be something else to face in March. But even I don't want to talk about that yet, because I think Sunday itself is going to be a big challenge. And yeah, facing Congo is not going to be easy at all, so we just have to prepare our best for that tomorrow.
Hello, Captain. Do you think Nigeria is being here by luck or something else, being 90 minutes from the other playoff?
I don't think you can really put anything down to just luck in football. I think you have to obviously work for some moments. I think our team has grown a lot over the last month. We've been under consistent pressure, but every time we come together, every game, I feel like the boys are getting more comfortable with that pressure, and there hasn't been any chance for us to make up anything if we made a mistake. So the same now goes for Sunday, and directly after the game in the changing room, we had a talk about this being a more important moment and having to rest, recover. It's not easy when you play 120 minutes for a team to then come and play again in 3 days' time. So, but the focus has always been on this game, because on Sunday, if we don't win or we don't get the result we want in that sense, Thursday will be a nice moment, but it will mean nothing. So that's the main thing. Yeah, and I think that's all I can really say about that. But I think the team has really grown over the last months, and yeah, we are ready, I think, for a high pressure moment, because that's what we've been under since earlier this year.
Good afternoon, Captain. I'm the editor-in-chief of Leopard Foot, the Congolese football media. A lot of people think about forwards when it comes to Nigeria's strengths, but as the captain of this team, what would you say is the X factor that led you to those playoffs after a very difficult start?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, this is always the number one question I get asked about the squad. You know, we have outstanding players. You know, I don't want to single out anyone, but I think when we talk about the forwards, they automatically come to mind. But the last game, I was so impressed with our midfielders, with our defenders. And yeah, even our goalkeeper had a good game. So it's one of those things where there's cohesion, there's a real family spirit. Somehow I think maybe the troublesome start to this week kind of brought us closer together. And yeah, I think on the pitch you see that too. You know, there's a real spirit of unity. and I think that's something that is probably the X factor of this team. So there's no egos. Everybody wants to serve the team, wants to serve the nation, and it's been a long time since I've seen a team in my last 10 years to be like this. And yeah, everybody, you know, we have so many stars in our team, but when they are here, everybody's humble and they work hard together. And I think that's going to be our biggest power, because when we work harder to that, in that sense, then you see different players shine and step up and steal the headlight. But it's not just one player. I know there's one consistently everyone's thinking of, but there's multiple players that are standing up and really, really performing. So yeah, I think that's probably the X factor of this team. I think I'll probably be able to answer that question for you after Sunday. So yeah, I mean, it'll be a new challenge again. I think now we are so occupied with this game tomorrow. We haven't even had a chance to look at that. I couldn't name you the teams that we potentially will be facing, because it hasn't been something that's on my mind, and I don't think the players are thinking about that either yet. But yeah, I think the challenge on Sunday will be big enough, and after that, I'm sure we can arrange a date again to talk about what's next, and hopefully it will be as positive as we like it to be.
Hi all. Can I just ask you about Alex reaching 90 caps and how you've seen him grow and develop over 10 years?
Yeah, you know, Alex for me is a really special player. He's someone who's become a really close friend. He came when I had my second camp under Sunday Oliseh. This was, I think 10 years ago now. So for him to achieve 90 caps is something really, really special. I think when I saw him in the first camp, he was a big talent. He hadn't made his debut yet for Arsenal. And now I think he's a player sometimes that goes under the radar. But for him to be the most capped Premier League player, Nigerian, with all the names that we've had there before, is something special. And I think he's set to probably break all the records that we have here in the coming years. And a player that has also grown to become so mature. So when we talk about leadership in our team, Alex is definitely a big part of that. He's also been part of this generation who probably have made coming back home and playing for Nigeria a real thing. You know, when you talk about the inner boys in our team, Alex is definitely the leader in that. So yeah, it's been for me really nice to see the progression. And as a teammate and friend, I'm really proud of him. And I definitely know that this isn't something that's going to stop anytime soon. So yeah, I'm hoping he will end up breaking all the records. But I know that he's also very focused on getting back to the World Cup and trying to win AFCON to crown this generation. So that's the biggest thing on Alex's mind. And he's not always interpreted the best way, but I think that's just him being himself, and he can be misunderstood for that. But I think that's also the thing that is special, and I think what everybody loves about him. And in the team, he's one of the most important players, both on and off the pitch.
Thank you. Okay,
yeah. Considering your stuttering stats to qualifying and all that, under two managers, now you're here with Eric. Looking back, what would you say has been the magic? I mean, you guys struggled to score a goal or two in the past. Now you have scored 4 in the last 2. What has Eric done differently, and what's the change in mindset?
I think there's probably been some consistency and actually some progression and some room for that progression. From the start of having a new coach, having to understand how he wants to play, not only tactically, what he expects from us. He's very big on the intensity, the aggressivity. So it's something that the team has grown in and has improved in a lot. It just takes some time. You know, we are together sometimes for a week or 10 days, every 2 months, 3 months. And in between you have your club assignments, all the kind of stuff that goes on, your personal life. So it's not easy to really make a quick progression. But you can see that over these last camps where it's been more frequent, 3 camps in 3 months' time, that the team is really improving, and there's a great understanding of what is expected from us now. And I think when you can have a team that's all singing from the same hymn sheet and understanding what they need to do, then you can see progression. And one of the big things that Coach Shell has been pushing on has been being aggressive also in the box, making sure that we take our chances. And if you look back at the Gabon game, we probably could have scored more goals than 4, especially in the first half. So it's something that is going to be very important for us, because I think early in the qualifications for the World Cup, that was something that was difficult for us and probably hindered us a little bit to not qualify earlier. But that's also a learning curve, and as long as we continue to improve, then who knows, there might be something, these extra games on the pressure will be, that's going to be strength for this team.
All right, sure. All right, Skipper, thank you very much. And two in one question. First, I'm talking about Victor Osimhen, 5 goals in 2 games, and I want to ask that what has it brought differently to the Super Eagles when you compare him with other strikers who've played within the team? And second, do you feel you are having extra responsibility within the team against Congo in the lunatic club clash? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't always feel comfortable just singling out players. I mean, you asked me now, so yeah, Victor is a very special player for me. He's the best forward in the world right now, and I can't just put that down to the last goals that he scored over these last 2 games, because I think consistently he's brought so much to the team for the last 2-3 years of him probably being the main forward for Nigeria. And also going back to his first camp with us, being in 2019 in the AFCON, he's gained some great experience, but he's been the same player that has been so hungry from the start. And I think now, his confidence has grown, he's perfected his skills, but the actual thing that makes Victor for me as a standout player is his hunger and determination, which is something that he had from day one and probably has been part of his upbringing and who he is as a person. So it's great to have a player like that in the team. He's also growing into be an important player and leader in the team, and I think his legacy will be big for Nigeria. But yeah, he needs other players around him. He's not playing alone, and I think sometimes that's also forgotten. But yeah, he's done very, very well. And for me personally, that's the second part of your question. No, nothing changes. For me, it's another important game, another honour to be part of this team. I try to enjoy every moment. I don't take anything for granted, because you never know how long you will be somewhere. And yeah, no, I feel like I thrive under the responsibility, but it's shared with my teammates. And it's great to see that in this generation now we've got different leaders and people stepping up. I think Wilfred was a fantastic captain in the game. Now they've just gone a couple of days ago. And like I said, I'm really happy that he's going to be playing on Sunday. Yeah, it's something that we speak about. It's the experience that all of us want to have. From 24 players that are here, if you look at the pool of players that the coach can choose from, probably is over 100 players that are in and around the Super Eagles team. Currently now we only have 3 that have played at the 2018 one. Everybody wants to have that experience, and for me, I would love to have that moment again. It's one of those things that is a highlight in my life, my career, and you dream of having another chance to improve the things that maybe didn't go as well, but also just to enjoy that moment, because it's a highlight for any athlete to be on the world stage. So that goes without saying, and I think that is definitely the biggest driving point for our team. Sometimes there's misinterpretations about what motivates this team, but we are all here because we want to be on the world stage, and the World Cup is the pinnacle. And that's the thing that we think of every night before we go to sleep, and it's a dream that we want to make reality. It's slightly different. I think I'm probably more nervous when I'm on the bench, because you don't feel like you can affect something. I can imagine if you're sitting in the stand, it's even more than that. I try to just contribute and give my best. I feel that's all I can do, and I'm always ready for the opportunity to get on the pitch. And I also know, players are looking at me and seeing how I behave, and you have to be a leader from the side. I try to affect as much as I can, try and help the boys vocally, be there for the coach, also to share my experience, because he's been, in this team now for coming up to a year probably, in a few months. But there's some other things that I know that I can share, and I feel like if I can't do that, then I'll be missing the opportunity to make the team better. So, of course, every player wants to play, and I come here and I want to play, I want to be part of the team, and I prepare for that. So whenever that moment comes, I'm ready. However, if you don't, then you also have an important part. I think we've seen it now consistently, even in the last game against Benin, Frank coming on and scoring the winner. Eduque coming on and making a difference. I can go on and on and on, but it's not always the same players, and you need more than 11. And I think that is, part of the unity of our group. And yeah, I'm ready for playing and not playing, but I still want to win the game. And all of us have a contribution to making that. And I think, also from my perspective, always being someone that's quite vocal, I can still do that from the side. And if not, then pass the message to the players on the pitch, who can then pass the message again. And if they win, we win, it's all together. So at the end of the day, we just want to be at the World Cup. And I think all of us will take any role to be part of that.